whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is Channel G-boot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. The place to be is the place with me right now, and that is on Random Topic Sundays here on Channel G-boot2786, and courtesy of my other channels, Gavin Richard, Facebook, as well as, excuse me, my backup channel, and Gavin Richard, and on Periscope. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Tonight, we have several topics to discuss and more, including Judy Hutt versus Bill Cosby 47 years ago. Haiti hit with a devastating earthquake. The Whompas versus the non-Whompa. You'll get that in a minute. And Raven and Carlton, sit your ass down. All this and more tonight on Channel G-boot2786. If you have not, I would ask that you please subscribe to the channel. We have over 1,000 subscribers, and I want to thank each and every one of them that have come out to my channel, especially the Royals and Royalettes, Queen Adaya, Shakur. I thank her, Sister Nicole from Nicole's View, and a whole lot of people that have helped make this channel successful. Sean James, Brother Ron Hurd of We All Be News, and more. I thank you all again. Shout out to Brother Ron Hurd. I spoke to him this past week, just checking on him. Shout out to Nicole from Nicole's View. I heard she's doing fine, her and her family. I know that her husband was recovering from COVID-19. That thing is serious, guys, so please be careful with it. We're going to be talking about all of that tonight. If you have not, please get the notifications on this channel or even the backup channel, so whenever I go live, because I put the live stream on the backup channel in case some people do not get that notification. You should, but you should hit that notification bell, and you need to subscribe to the backup channel, Gavin Richard, just in case you get unsubscribed from my main channel. I know that happens, especially with YouTube and Google. I would also ask that if you have not, please check out. You can just go to our website here, NawnyCreoleBlends.com. That is our new seasoning, NawnyCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish, and it goes great with every dish. I'd ask if you guys check it out. That'd be cool. And also, if you would go ahead and download. I'm sorry, I was looking at something. Download the song, Gotta Get On Up. Gotta Get On Up. That's how our theme song, we always play that every time we come on here. So sit back, relax. It's going to be a great show tonight, guys. And we're going to get started in a minute. But of course, as I said earlier, we got to get on up. So let's do it.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Because on the dance floor is where we'll go. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. Once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Yeah, gotta get on. Come on, baby, gotta get on.
Gotta play that again, guys.
Breathing, you achieving. So
I gotta play that
if you're
again.
ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready?
Come on.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Yeah, gotta get on. Come on, baby, gotta get on. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
I hope y'all don't mind if I leave the camera off today. Because if I put the camera on now, although I'm very good looking, I know I'll drive the ladies crazy on here. I like to look a little presentable. And sometimes I'm relaxed and chilled and cool, but honestly, I didn't get a chance. I just came from the gym. I was trying to go before our Gestapo order comes into effect Monday. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I don't know if that's too harsh or that was too strong of just saying to stop it. Well, I should say our mandates because that's going to be in effect across the city. I don't know what it's like in other parishes. I know in other cities they have these mandates, but that'll be in effect effective tomorrow, and New Orleans is preparing for it. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, I went in to go get me a quick workout because before all of that started, and before I came on, I didn't get a chance to get properly decent for you all. So just excuse me, and we'll just do it without the cameras. Not the first time we've done it, not a big deal. So how is everybody doing out there? I see a few people in the chat. We got, and I know we have more than 13 people that are watching this broadcast now. We have to have more than 13 people. I know it's Sunday. Tariq is not on yet. Let's not also forget that you guys, we also have a lot going on in regards to what's going on in Haiti. We'll be talking about that. But Tariq is not on. Professor Black at Truth is not on. Jason Black, I get them mixed up. Professor Black, Jason Black is not on yet. What's up, DeAndre? What's up, Tyree? What's going on? So we should have more people hot and heavy here. Sean James was even saying by now, he did a video about how he should have over, I believe, 100,000 subscribers or more. Yeah, he should have by now. Sean has been in it even longer than I, and he's been putting out great quality videos. Stuff that hasn't been put out, stuff that he's been putting out longer than me. And I certainly believe that his channel should be bigger than what it is right now, without question. I see Lizard is trending. And I guess I wasn't going to make that a topic because some people have been talking about this, but I'll get to her in a little bit because I wanted to talk about some celebrities who have been in the news recently, especially one, well, two actually, Raven Simone, and I guess I'll start with them, and Alfonso Ribeiro, aka Carlton. And so I entitled this Raven Carlton, Sit Your Ass Down. So let me start with Raven Simone first. Now, I'm going to play this clip that is courtesy of our brother Tariq Nasheed. He actually had this playing earlier. He shared this, and I'm going to play that with everyone.
The Black community would be mad that I was dating a white person, and it was this residual thought process that really wasn't fact. And so I didn't know how to communicate that with her. That was one thing. Another
I
thing,
had no idea. She was struggling with any of those feelings whatsoever.
That's her husband.
like I just thought staring at me all the time, and it felt weird. But then again, it wasn't really happening. I think I was just carrying burdens that happened.
I know my experience as a white female. So I have never, and because of the way I was raised and my community, interracial relationships were never questioned. It was like, if you fall in love with an Asian person, a Black person, an Indian person, you know, whoever, that's who you love. And I also just don't operate in that space. So to have to kind of like come over and then put myself in her shoes and think that she might feel, you know, resentment from her community or from people or disappointment. I was just something that I experienced, I felt compassion for, and then I wish that I had known as her partner, I could have maybe supported her or helped have a conversation. But it's been interesting because since getting married, I actually have experienced little bits of that. So I have seen other people express their feelings about me, Raven, marrying a white person. And
are you sure it's because it's you're white, or it's the fact that she's married to a woman?
And but it's entitled to their opinion, and I you know, I share respect.
Now, let me say this.
Even though it's not true to who I am.
Okay, I had enough. Okay, now I want to tell you guys something interesting about me. Before I got in the legal field, and even still this day, I was in the entertainment industry. Still am, technically, not on a level like Raven Simone and them, but I actually did some extra work that was going on here in the New Orleans area, Louisiana. I don't know if you guys remember, but back like some 10, 11 years ago, like around 2009, 2010 roughly, there was this big boom in the South, especially in Louisiana, with the Hollywood industry coming down to these different parishes filming movies. They still do it, although I don't think it's as big as it was when it was starting out. Like around 2012, movies like Django Unchained were being shot here in New Orleans area. Same thing with 12 Years a Slave. That was shot in the Louisiana area in New Orleans. Raven Simone had a movie. I actually met her, a TV movie called Revenge of the Bridesmaids. I was working as an extra back on that set some 10 years ago. And she was nothing but kind to me. I actually met her, talked to her. I couldn't talk to her for a long period of time, but she was real cool. She was real cool. I can't say anything negative, like she was arrogant or anything like that. She wasn't. And I ain't gonna lie to you, when I was a kid, I'll share this with y'all. I don't know if my girlfriend is watching, but I had a big, I ain't gonna lie, I had a crush on her as a kid because she was cute. I thought she was cute. I see she's an airhead right now. And I tried, and I didn't get to speak to her long, but like for 30 seconds or stuff. And I have an autographed picture from her still that she sent me. I managed, I'm glad I took that with me when Katrina happened, before Katrina, because I would have left it. But I had enough mind to go grab certain stuff, more stuff than what my parents and even my brother had, because I had a feeling something bad was going to happen. And so I just moved everything, took everything with me. So I still have that autographed picture. I wonder if I should burn it. This is the same thing her and Alfonso Ribeiro. Because remember, Alfonso Ribeiro, let's go and look at what Alfonso says here. Alfonso Ribeiro made the comment of something along the lines that he is not who he is right now or where he's at, essentially trying to blame the Black community because he's married to a white woman. He says he's not accepted by Black people. Black Twitter reminds him why. Now, this is from the, and you're going to hear an ad probably play in a little bit. Wait, hold on a second, y'all. I got to take this call. Excuse me. Guys, I'll be right back. Look, I'm sorry about that, everybody, but I got to step away for a second. Excuse me. Just give me 1 second. I hate doing this.
Looking for gluten-free lunch options? Drop the grains for riced cauliflower in a ready-to-go meal. A gluten-free meal full of flavor. Healthy Choice Power Bowls. Find us in the freezer aisle.
For me, because there's some hot white out here tonight. Now, hey, Alfonso, out with. Who's a lovely blonde white chick? Yeah. For me, cause there's some hot white out here tonight.
Y'all forgive me. I will be right back. Give me a second. I have to handle something outside. Excuse me. I'll be right back. I'm gonna play some, since it won't be too dead sounding.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Time for broken heart. Really don't get what to do, cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get all out and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the chorus. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get all out and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get all out and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Yeah, gotta get on. Come on, baby, gotta get on. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
All right. Sorry about the delay, guys. I'm back. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had to help. I had to help the family with something, so that's why I was coming right back. So I'm stepped away. Okay. So this is Alfonso Ribeiro, yeah, and I remember this is all the stuff that he was going through. He's blaming the black community for not accepting him, and says he feels he puts himself in the white woman he's married with places him in an uncomfortable position when he is out in public, and he sees the looks he receives, combined with being typecast as Carlton Banks and being in a mixed marriage, and says he makes him feel like black people will never accept him. Well, here's the problem, Carlton or Alfonso Ribeiro. What about the white folks? Now, no doubt there are some black people who may not get along with interracial relationships. I have white cousins via marriage myself. Now, I have no hatred of anybody because of what they look like, and my preference personally has always been a black woman. That's just me. And with white women I've been attracted to, I'm not gonna lie, I'm human. Women of different races and ethnicities, I've been attracted to. So I don't go and knock people for who they marry and so forth. But for you to castigate and put down the entire black community as saying he's not accepted by black people, when black people have always been the most loving, forgiving group in this country. Did we feel bad with Rick James when Rick James was messing around with Tina Marie? Even though Tina Marie was a down-to-earth woman, she was actually real. She wasn't somebody pretending to be white. Pretending to be black, even though she was white. This was just the people she hung out with. She grew up around different people. Same thing with, black celebrities. I can know Richard Pryor was married to a white woman. Did we stop hanging around with and fucking with Richard? Same thing with countless other celebrities I can name. No, nigga, it's because you corny. The characters you play, all his characters that he was known for, he was known as a snooty. You were typecast because I can tell that's who you are as a person. The snooty, uptight black dude that thinks he's better than everybody else in the room. And let's be honest, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, black people loved that show, but so did white people. It was universal. It was a universal type program. So maybe the reason you're in the position you are and why you get typecast is because you don't have a good agent. How's that? How do you blame being in a mixed relationship and you live in California where they supposedly have this free love and liberal, so-called far left, very liberal state that's open to all types of exploring everything. And I wasn't even going to comment on this, but I'm commenting because Alfonso Ribeiro, and then with combined with Raven Simone and her comments that she made, you guys always try. I'm sick of these celebrities that try to castigate and put down black people for the reason why you're not in the position you were in. Have you even used your platform, Alfonso, like my brother Sean James said, to help out younger black actors and actresses? How about getting black directors involved in Hollywood? On TV shows, you work for ABC doing America's Funniest Home Videos. I honestly didn't know that show was still on the air. I remember when Bob Saget hosted it. These guys don't help people. Raven Simone, I don't know what they do in their private life, but I don't think she's helped put up black people in high positions. And her show, That's So Raven, I remember Raven Simone was, I believe, Had a $400 million empire. Still probably does, but still does. From as far as I can tell and what I know, she has not been any financial situation, financial troubles that I know of. I've never heard her being in tax trouble. I've never known her to be in trouble with the law. That's good. But I gotta say this, I'll never forget when, y'all remember this, when this was on The View, and a known racist by the name of Ann Coulter had to check Raven Simone for her comment. Now, if you don't remember, Raven was the one who made the comment on The View. Remember, she was on The View at one point, and this was about 5-6 years ago. And they were talking about, are you judged by your name? And Raven made this remark.
Raven Simone, girl, have you lost your mind? Now, I know you're probably wondering what I'm talking about, but if you didn't catch The View this morning, you're definitely going to want to see this clip. Take a look.
You know, a new study in the journal Evolution and Human Behavior says Americans make racist assumptions based on people's names. Now, this, of course, made us think about the viral video that listed the 60 most ghetto names. And here are their top 10. My boys.
United States of America Liqua, Alejandrisha, King Kong Quisha, Fried Chicken Nisha, Collard Graniqua, Greg Drankisha, Africanisha Niqua, Kashaya, the Tanyana Boba Nantria Niqua Niqua.
These are all white boys.
Just to bring it back, can we take back racist and say discriminatory? Because I think that's a better word.
Yes, it is much better.
That's a better word. And I am very discriminatory against words like the ones that they were saying in those names. I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Andrea. That's just not going to happen. I'm not going to hire you.
Now, even Whoopi is taken aback. And we know Whoopi for years. Whoopi been cooning it up when she had Ted dancing in blackface at the Friars Club in New York. I remember all Whoopi fucked with was white boys. I don't know what that black man she had that daughter with did, but Whoopi, she ain't messing with nothing but older white men. Ted Danson, Frank Langella. That's all she messed with. But nevertheless, even Whoopi was taken aback by it.
Such a beautiful King Kong Quisha, by the way.
Now,
really? Watermelon Andrea? Yes, Raven had the audacity to admit that she discriminates against perspective.
Now, I didn't want to play that because, of course, you got to be careful when you do these videos, because what will happen eventually, they like to file a copyright strike on you just for sharing stuff like that. So I got to do a disclaimer and say that any videos and clips used in here is under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for criticism, education, news, commentary. But Ann Coulter had to put Raven, and of all people, in her place. Listen to this. Remember this.
Can I interrupt you for 2 seconds, please?
Yes, of course.
I have a question. My mom taught me when I was younger, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And why do you think that it's important? Why do you think that's important to mudsling and have these words that obviously touch the hearts and souls of so many people of America being said when we're taught something different as a child? Could you explain that to me? And why do you think your success is based off of that?
Well, I'm at least talking about policy. You have a position on what people's names should be. Watermelon-drea. I mean, you'll insult people for their names. I'm talking about a government policy that affects all Americans and immigrants and the people living here, and it's harming our country. So you don't follow it? Are you against?
Okay.
Are you against?
Oh, you know it's bad when she puts you into silence. When Ann Coulter, of all people, put your ass into silence, it's bad. I don't know about her daughter being biracial. This is a picture of her daughter. These people are talking to me about Whoopi's daughter, Alex Martin. This is actually a picture of her. Okay. That's pictures of her. She got a jaw on her. I don't know about her daughter. I don't know who. Okay, so this is Whoopi's first. So this is Whoopi's first husband. Okay, so she's biracial. All right, well, that's all. Well, again, point from the team. That's all Whoopi messed with. I'm not missing anything. But anyway, yeah, Ann Coulter shuts you down. It's bad. And for these Negroes, yeah, her daughter was in a lot of her mom's movies, even Call Me Claude. She was in that as well. Yeah, her daughter's married to a white guy. But here's the thing: these people, like Raven Simone, Carlton, and Alfonso Ribeiro, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure Alfonso Ribeiro doesn't even hang out in the black community. Probably never did. Raven Simone, I remember her, she was on Cosby, but she was the Cosby Show. But remember, she came on hanging with Mr. Cooper. And then after hanging with Mr. Cooper, she started doing those TV movies, the Cheetah Girls. And then she had That's So Raven. And that blew her up even further, her brand. She became, she's a multi-millionaire. Great. What does that do for us? Okay, what's that got to do with me? How does the black community get blamed for you dating a white person, Alfonso, Raven? Because the bottom line is black people in general, when it comes to this stuff, I'm going to tell you the God honest truth about interracial relationship. In truthfulness, black people, we don't give a rat's ass. We don't give a rat's ass. Nobody cared. I mean, more of us are surprised you went WNBA before you went to the suburbs. You know what I mean when I say you went WNBA? I always, I had a crush on her as a kid. I found out she wouldn't have been interested in me anyway. You don't like hard. You don't like you don't like wood floors. You prefer carpet. Okay. I mean, it may not be is not our cup of tea, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. I don't lose sleep over who you're married to. If I was a teenager, maybe so. But in my 30s, I'm the same age as you. I don't really give a damn about that. Same thing with you, Alfonso Ribeiro. Maybe you should blame your agent for you being typecast. Outside the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Silver Spoons, I don't know anything he's famous for. He did In the House with LL Cool J, and that was kind of a Fresh Princess type of show. He plays the same character. He played the same character. It's no different than a Tyler Perry movie. You're playing the same fucking character. So maybe they're mentioning all this stuff not because the black people make you uncomfortable. Maybe you're exactly right, butterflies. You're insecure in who you married. Because whoever you're married to, you don't give a damn about what the world thinks. And just imagine what celebrities like Sammy Davis Jr. and Nat King Cole, those people who actually were in relationships with white people, Josephine Baker. Well, Nat King Cole wasn't married to a white woman, but Sammy Davis Jr. couldn't even get in the White House when he married Mae Britt. And he was the biggest celebrity at that time. A member of the Rat Pack. Frank Sinatra couldn't even get him in the White House. So man up, both of you, especially you, Raven. Take a dose of reality. And if you're not where you're at, look in the mirror and say, I need to make a change. But just hearing this shit, this simping shit.
Hey, Alfonso, now I gotta say, listen, I have been known to fuck some white girls in my lifetime. Yeah! Okay, and I have.
And Carlton is not, Alfonso is not even a foundational Black American. I think his parents are from Trinidad. I mean, look, with regards to that, I know what Tariq Nasheed and others are talking about when they say stuff like this, but, you know, if the police stopped him today, he would be, the police stop you, you would be Black. But I'm pretty sure, and I don't know how he grew up, but I'm pretty sure, especially growing up in Hollywood, he was surrounded by nothing but white folks. He didn't go into the Black community. Jamie Foxx messing with your girl, Katie Holmes, Tom Cruise's ex-wife. Yeah, I know Jamie messed with the Beckys. That's no surprise. Jamie Foxx walked off the ESPN set when they were doing the finals telecast a few years ago when they asked him about Katie Holmes. Someone said, how's Katie doing? Jamie just walked off and said nothing. Let me see if I can find that video. Yeah, it was a live broadcast. Watch when the interviewer asked him about Katie Holmes.
Jamel Hill had to
I don't want to say
defend.
anything with the Breakfast Club.
Jamie Foxx does not want to talk about Katie Holmes.
Like some real love in basketball?
Yeah, he walks off.
Sports Center after being asked about his rumored girlfriend during the broadcast.
I saw pictures. Did you and Katie Holmes play basketball for Valentine's Day? Like some real love in basketball game? Uh-oh. We losing?
Jamie was gearing up to play.
We didn't lose him. He left.
All-Star Celebrity Game when he was questioned about his rumored lady love.
Oh,
the pair have been romantically linked for broadcast.
I saw pictures. Did you and Katie Holmes play basketball for Valentine's Day? Like some real love in basketball game?
He just straight up walked off. He straight up walked off the set.
We losing?
He left. You didn't lose him, and that's Michael Smith. Yeah. Ice-T. Yeah, we didn't care. Ice-T wife even says she don't take baths unless she feels icky. I'm like, damn. What's with all of these celebrities not washing their ass, bro? They got enough money. But yeah, I've spent too much time on this. I gotta move on. But yeah, Raven, Carlton, sit y'all asses down. Or sit your ass, as Steve Harvey says, sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Yeah. All right. Next, I want to talk about this, guys. This is happening in Haiti. A little serious news. Haiti has been hit with a devastating earthquake, magnitude of about 7.2 on the Richter scale. Hit Haiti early this Saturday morning. Most people woke up to the news that Haiti was again devastated by an earthquake. We remember back in 2010 when Haiti was devastated by an earthquake then, to which the point that they actually had to do special relief for it. We know Bill Clinton and a few others, they actually got involved. I remember why.
I love Louisiana life.
Getting involved. The Haitian government declared a state of emergency after the earthquake struck the country on Saturday. There have been nearly 1,300 people reported dead and more than 5,700 injured, according to the country's Civil Protection Agency. Of the 1,297 fatalities, 54 are in South Administrative Region, 119 are in Grand Anse, 102 are in Niepce, and 2 are in the Northwest Region, the Civil Protection Service reported on Sunday. The quake destroyed about 13,694 homes and damaged another 13,785, officials from the agency said. This is actually a picture. We have some pictures of the destruction here, courtesy of CNN. And I don't like showing CNN, of course. I have my issues with them, but you guys can see here just some of the devastations that they have. This one is from Les Cayas in Haiti that was taken on yesterday. Just look at the houses down. And all of this is coming while Haiti is under tropical storm watch because they have the storm coming in, I believe, Fred. And there's another one that's coming into, I think Grace is, Grace is coming in on Monday. Fred is already in the Gulf Coast, if I'm not mistaken. It's about to strike Florida, or has crossing over Florida as we speak. But according to the National Hurricane Center, the entire coast of Haiti is under a tropical storm watch. Tropical storm watch, meaning tropical storm conditions are possible within 48 hours. Haiti's Civil Protection Agency head, Jerry Chandler, said, "I am worried about the upcoming storm as it can complicate the situation for us." Yes, it can. But yeah, these are just some of the pictures here. Just devastation that you see here. And my heart breaks for the people in Haiti right now. But they got to be, and please be wary and mindful of what will happen, especially in the upcoming months. Because just this past month, Haiti has gone through some things. Their president was assassinated. Then you have this earthquake that comes along. So some people are saying it was a setup to attack Haiti. Again, I don't know about if it's a setup and about that. But, you know, I do know, I believe it was an anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, of some sorts from the Haitian. Hold on a second. Some type of anniversary that occurred yesterday that someone stated that was tied into with it. I don't know if it was from the point where it was one part of war or battle with the Haitian Revolution. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't look like a fool. But some people are saying they have a vendetta against
You
Haiti.
just want to meet your new niece.
They certainly don't like the fact that the Haitians caused the French to sell all of Louisiana to the United States, because actually that's where, in large part, that is the reason why Napoleon made the Louisiana Purchase with the United States, where they sold all of the land from where the Mississippi River ran all the way to the mouth of the Mississippi, which is my hometown and state of New Orleans, Louisiana. 5.2 magnitude aftershock hit later Saturday morning, about 20 kilometers west-northwest of Caliod, Haiti, according to the USGS. That was followed by several more, including a 5.1 magnitude aftershock around noon. They also got a tsunami watch threat that's in effect. Yeah, that can cause a problem. So it's just complete devastation, man. Henry, the Haitian Prime Minister, arrived at Grand Anse on Saturday evening to assess the extent of the damage and better coordinate the government response, he said in a Twitter post. Resources have been mobilized since this morning to provide aid and assistance to the victims of this devastating earthquake. So, United States Coast Guard is sending aid to Haiti this weekend. The Haitian government requested the assistance, and the Coast Guard said it will help in transporting medical personnel and supplies, as well as transporting critically injured citizens through Port-au-Prince facilities so they can receive a higher level of care. Okay. Biden, United States President Biden said he was saddened by the devastating earthquake that occurred in St. Louis, Louisade, Haiti this morning. So then we send our deepest condolences to all those who lost a loved one or saw their homes and businesses destroyed. I have authorized an immediate U.S. response and named U.S. Aid Administrator Samantha Powell as the senior United States official to coordinate this effort. Red Cross is involved in it. Be wary of the Red Cross too. When I did my book on Katrina and did some research on the Red Cross. You guys don't know, but there were millions of dollars that were raised, and you can check out Katrina Eyes Have Not Seen, Ears Have Not Heard. That was my book on it's available on Amazon. When I did my research, I learned that there were hundreds of millions of dollars that went to all of these charity groups and organizations, and to my knowledge, I don't believe in a single dime of some sorts. I'm not going to say that there wasn't money given through Red Cross. There was some money, but it wasn't a money that was going to last you for a year or anything like that. I think they based it off your family size and so forth. You may have gotten like $300 or $600. Good luck with that. Yes, of course, the Clintons, I remember when they came into Haiti. But no, that monies, I don't believe was received to the hardest hit areas. We had monies that were allocated by the government and still have not been allocated to the Lower Ninth Ward or New Orleans East. I can show y'all pictures. One day, what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload pictures for you or video. I'm going to show you all the blight that is in this area. Yeah, they kept the Red Cross. You're absolutely right. What's up to Bishop Scott? Yeah, the Red Cross kept the bulk of monies raised for Katrina relief in the previous Haitian earthquake. Do not donate to them now. No, don't donate to them. If you can, there may be some legitimate, there are other legitimate charities you can give monies to. You certainly, I know when they had the flood that went on, or not the flood, but in Houston, I remember we gave waters to through my school, through Southern University. We actually donated some waters to them, cases of water that I purchased even to give to them. Not something I broadcast or anything, because when you do charitable works, you don't have to broadcast all of that. But I'm just thinking of organizations. You can, when the winter storm in Houston also struck, I know our sister Nicole gave me some black charities that you could give to. So if there's some charities other than Red Cross or FEMA that are legit, y'all let me know, and I'm happy to contribute something to them. And I'd encourage other people to do that. But if you can, don't donate to the Red Cross or through FEMA. If you can avoid doing so, that's fine. Because, yeah, they kept the bulk of money. There was money that was raised during a football game, a quote-unquote Saints home game against the New York Giants, even though it was played in MetLife Stadium. They called it a home game for the Saints because the Saints were supposed to play in the Superdome. But, of course, the Superdome was damaged. The Saints couldn't play there. So they made it a quote-unquote home game for New Orleans in New York. But let's be real. The Giants were rooting for – they had home field advantage. It was utterly stupid. But there was all of these NFL former players that were sitting down doing these teleconferences, doing a telethon. And it was organized for relief. I remember it like it was yesterday. See if I can find it. Tough it. But yeah, this was an old article. They moved it to, and Tagliabue was a commissioner then. Yeah, I remember this. And it was a double header. Yeah, I remember this stuff. When the Lakers donated $100,000 to the American Red Cross, the Lakers and the Sparks, they held auctions at each home game during the month of November to benefit hurricane victims. Yeah, I mean, people that were in New Orleans, it was a big gentrification, a big land grab, where they sent all of these people from New Orleans to different states. And I remember this. And they did like a telethon because they had John Elway and Gene Upshaw, Art Shell, all of the former NFL players, I think Barry Sanders, all of them that were there that were doing stuff for the Saints. So I remember that. So yeah, but shout out to the people in Haiti. I hope you guys get well. Yeah, I remember when Wyclef tried to become president over there, but well, Wyclef, I think there was an issue with him, even with the monies that were there. The people in Haiti weren't even feeling him. What's up, Derek Bailey? I see Tyree. Yeah, people weren't feeling Wyclef. I remember that. Something went wrong. I guess they felt Wyclef was too much of a puppet, whatever it was, because they even said this Haitian president who was assassinated, uh, Jovenel Moïse, who was assassinated, they say he was a pawn for the Haitian government, for Haiti. He was tied to the West, and I don't know particular about that. Yeah, I'm still wondering what's going to. So now I got to ask this question. What's going to happen now? I guess they're still investigating with the president being assassinated in Haiti because now you have this earthquake and this is taking news. This is obviously taking precedent over this because he was assassinated this past July. And now, over a month ago, you have this devastating earthquake. I wonder what's going to happen. I'm sure eventually there may be a trial, there'll be a trial and so forth, but everybody's attention will likely not be on the assassination. Everyone's focused on the earthquake. It's like you have one crisis comes and then a whole another one comes that takes away your attention from the first one. Yeah. So we'll be looking out for that. All right. So next, I wanted to talk about No, I won't talk about Cosby just yet. I mentioned we're talking about the Whompa versus the non-Whompa. Now, I'm taking a play from my friend Dwan B and how he described getting the Whompa shot versus the non-Whompa. And you guys use your imagination of what I'm talking about, please. Now, different cities across the country, from New York to Los Angeles, I believe Los Angeles is in the mix, and a few others, are expected to implement a negative test or proof of a Whompa shot in order to enter an establishment. Now, we have one here in New Orleans that is going to be into effect, the mandate. I talked about this on Thursday when Sean came on, and I just was looking at some of my news articles. This is coming from WGNO. The mayor of Baton Rouge, Sharon Weston Broome, she actually released a statement in regards to what was going on in New Orleans. And she said, and I quote, you can read the statement here: city leaders across the country, including me, are working to mitigate COVID-19 in our communities. Our first goal is increase vaccinations, thus decrease hospitalizations and deaths. We have returned to a mask mandate, and events are being canceled and rescheduled throughout our city. Our path has always been to seek counsel and guidance from our medical community, who are partners in this battle, usually on a weekly basis. We are considering a potential vaccine and testing policy for city parish employees, as the FDA is expected to fully approve the Pfizer vaccine in the near future. While I am not adverse to any effective path forward to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and its variants, I have no immediate plans to implement a citywide vaccine mandate for private entities. The plan needs to enforce such a mandate could possibly time and resources dedicated to community vaccinations. Yet I wholeheartedly support individual businesses who feel it necessary to pursue this route on their own. Well, there may be, and I've said this before, with regards to the Whompa and the non-Whompa. I'm reading the article. Oh, don't worry, Esmont. See, I'm reading an article from WGNO. So they can't say I'm spreading misinformation because this is an actual statement that I'm reading. Now, here are my statements. I don't care whatever side of the argument you're on. I don't like Whompa shaming. I understand there are some people who are legitimately concerned and want their loved ones to be taken care of, and so they encourage them to get a Whompa, and that's fine. And let's be honest too, most of us on here, we eat stuff that we're not supposed to. We do stuff we're not supposed to. We drink stuff we're not supposed to. We smoke. There are other ways you can get yourself killed or sick. And I am not an anti-Whompa by no means. I've said before, I'm not an anti-Whompa, but I do have questions about stuff, and I think it's fair whenever you want to inject someone with anything, you ask questions. Especially if you're trying to get me to take a certain medicine, what are the side effects to that? Those are legitimate questions you ask. Now, I think another reason why the mayor of Baton Rouge probably will not issue such a mandate, because she knows there may be some legal issues, as I think there will be likely legal challenges to the mandate that Mayor Cantrell has enacted, because private business owners is one thing. When we have government officials telling these private business owners to issue such, enforce such mandates, you are making them state actors. And when you're doing so, you can possibly open yourself up to lawsuits, because there are some people who do not take Whompas because it goes against their religious beliefs. And we have something in the Constitution called the First Amendment. And the Constitution of the First Amendment guarantees you what? Freedom of religion, freedom to express your religion. That's Mayor Sharon Weston Broome. Now, some people like to say, well, you still need to get it for your mom and your pop and your top and you don't stop. And this is happening across the country now, where we're seeing you either take this or you can't go here. Now, Louisiana, New Orleans, what we have that has come into effect, Mayor Cantrell has initiated a mandate. That mandate requires that you, in private businesses, you either go into and prove that you have been Whompa'd, or that you have a negative test. And from what I've read in the mandate, it requires you to actually be tested for a negative Whompa. You have to be tested, and it's every 72 hours. Now, you can go on here. Y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And also, if you please, donate to the Cash App at the bottom, or if you could do it to the Super Chat. That's great, because we have the Super Chat up and running thanks to my 1,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate that as well. It's been a hard-fought battle, but we're here, and we are actually going to only go further here on Channel G-boot2786. So I thank you. But this is the actual mandate here. You can read for yourself. I'm not making it up. These are the guidelines. And the the Attorney General, Jeff Landry, has said some issues about this. He spoke about it earlier on. But essentially, all individuals and businesses, pursuant to this order, to the May 15th mayoral proclamation, to further promulgate emergency orders, effective on August 16th, 2021, all individuals and businesses must follow this directive. So, special indoors, you must comply with all safety requirements as set forth herein. Nothing in these guidelines shall prevent private businesses from requiring masks or social distances to conduct operations. Movement around the city should be limited so as to minimize interaction with large groups. Live entertainment is only allowed for the rules set forth on page 15 through 19. So, all individuals who are eligible to receive the Whompa vaccine must provide evidence to designate staff or leaders of having received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine that has received full approval or emergency use authorization from the FDA or the World Health Organization, or evidence of a negative test taken no more than 72 hours prior to entering the indoor establishment. So that means within 72 hours, if you're not going to get a shot, ladies and gentlemen, you have to show that you have then you have a negative test. So gyms, fitness centers are included. This includes pool halls, bowling alleys, indoor play centers, adult live performance venues. So damn, even the strip clubs, casinos, racetracks, and video poker establishments, indoor facilities. The acceptable evidence of a COVID-19 vax includes an LA Wallet app, an original digital photograph or copy of a CDC VC card, an official vaccine record issued by another state or foreign nation or the World Health. Now, this thing, of course, is forcing businesses to do this. And here's the issue with it. Yes, you have the ability. Businesses typically have the freedom and abilities to do whatever they want, per se, although they are not always allowed to do whatever they want. You know, of course, we talk about the right to refuse service, which they do have, but just because you have a right to refuse service to someone, you can't refuse someone's service because of the color of their skin. You can't refuse service to someone because of their religion, their creed, or anything like that, because there is something called the Civil Rights Act. And the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed for that purpose. Now, is a unwhoopered or non-Whompa person considered a protected class? Black people are considered a protected class. Jewish people, women, now LGBTQ, they've taken over and become a protected class. We could talk about diluting the Civil Rights Act and so forth. Those are different things. But I don't believe there has been a court opinion on whether an unwhoopered person is a protected class. Now, if you're doing so for a religious reason, you might have stronger grounds for it. But yeah, a lot of businesses, I think, could lose a lot of money for it. But on top of that, I think what will happen and why this will be a negative is that people don't like their privacy invaded. You do have a fundamental right to privacy. If I can ask if someone is vaccinated or unvaccinated and it is a business, can I also ask them, a transgender, if they still have a penis? Like that Vietnam War veteran asked that city council person up in Washington, are you a chick with a dick? See what happens if you ask them that. When they're trying to go in the restroom, you know, a 6'4" man in heels wearing makeup has his head down like a woman. Try to ask them if they're in the bathroom with your wife or daughter if they got a penis. Or have a restaurant owner say, ask the restaurant owner, hey, that person that's going in that bathroom, do they have a penis? Ma'am, do you have a penis? See what would happen if you ask someone of that group that. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm against these things because I know that there are different businesses that are requiring people to get this shot. If you don't get it, you could lose your job. There were some nurses who refused to get it even though they worked in a hospital while this stuff was rampant. Remember last year, we didn't have a Whompa for it. Last year you didn't have it, and people were working full-time, not getting paid. The janitors, something we don't talk about, the people that clean up after the hospital workers are doing their job and for cleaning up, taking care of the elderly. Those are the ones that make the whole thing go round. My goodness, they were working in the midst of that. There was no Whompa available. But I want to show something to you so you can check out, if you would like, this is on channel Fox 8, which is a local channel here in my hometown. This is the guide. These are the guidelines you can look at. Yeah, but y'all will look at this. And who knows, we might have businesses on shutdown. This will hurt these businesses because like I say again, people don't like to have their privacy violated. Now, from a legal standpoint, can somebody ask you if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated? You know, there's HIPAA only applies when people say a HIPAA privacy violation. That applies or goes forward for the hospitals, that they are the medical workers. They can't disclose your health information unless you sign like a HIPAA release form. It's something that we do even as lawyers, because I have had to, before a hospital can give information on a client, if I have a personal injury suit that I'm working on, I have to tell or sign authorization form with my client's signature that they're allowing me to look at those records. So random individuals, as far as business owners asking you, it's not the same thing as a hospital releasing your information. But is it rude? Is it still private information? If it still concerns your health? Yes, it is. Is it intrusive? Yes. And is it by its nature, does this seem to be coercive, in my opinion? And a way, yes. Although you don't have to, it's not mandating that you get a shot or a Whompa, excuse me. But essentially, it is telling in a way, because who would want to get tested every 3 days and sit in a line for several hours? Now, again, people can get that if they want. People don't have to get it if they want. As I've said before, I'm not an anti-Whooper, but I think what has caused all of this and why, I entitled this topic "The Whooper versus the Non-Whooper" is because this country is about to implode over this. Now, I want to show and share with you, because I want to move on. We've been here for a while, but I want to share with you. This is courtesy of GNO. This is actually a rally out in Louisiana. It's in St. Tammany Parish, North Shore, not far from here. So this happened yesterday. There was some type of rally over these mandates that are being placed in St. Tammany Parish, and people have issues with it. So I want you to take a look and listen.
COVID restrictions. WGNO's Anna McAllister has that story.
The coroner has the nerve to say that in St. Tammany Parish, we are facing D-Day. What kind of scam is that?
In Mandeville Lakefront Park, a sea of people gathered for a freedom rally, pushing to make COVID vaccinations and masks a choice. The event happening less than a week after St. Tammany Parish officials announced that local hospitals are facing a COVID crisis.
The government cannot solve this. Only the actions of individual responsible citizens can stop this plague.
But attendees are pushing back, insisting that they will not comply with local and state mandates.
Them forcing a vaccine and mask and all these mandates is taking away from our freedoms. I don't wear the mask. I trust in the Lord for my health.
All right, she looks like she could be from the 1950s, smoking a cigarette when they're trying to integrate the schools.
And so far, I've been healthy and done well.
A Louisiana state representative also came to the event, urging that masks and vaccinations.
Now, y'all listen to what he says.
We're facing discrimination like we did back in segregation. We have two groups, the vaccinated, unvaccinated, and the mask and not mask. We're pitting those two groups together, and liberty is my solution.
As attendees held signs in hand, demanding a...
Now, look, all right, that is a stretch. Whenever they try to compare whenever anyone I guess it's because we are the prototype for everything, but whenever a white person or another group tries to compare the civil rights movement with their movement, I scratch my head. And I don't know about it. it is maybe discriminatory in nature. It is discriminatory in nature. The word discriminate, when you look it up and you read discrimination, it means by its very nature to separate one thing from another. That's the definition of discrimination. It is a recognition and understanding the difference between one thing and another. So there is prejudicial treatment of different categories of things or people that we do. So you do things, for instance, we talk about racial discrimination. You treat one group differently, group of people differently from another because of what they look like, or because of their religion or their age. I wouldn't compare it though to whites only water fountains, being denied the right to vote, polls tax. Those are things that Black people had to go through. But it is yes, it is bias. I will say that much. But let me finish the video.
Choice for masks and vaccinations, a memorial sits in the park in front of Lake Pontchartrain. Dozens of white flags, each representing a St. Tammany resident who died from COVID. The rally showing a stark divide when it comes to COVID regulations, and these attendees insist that mandates won't deter them from what they believe. More than 500 people in St. Tammany Parish have died from COVID since the pandemic started, and local officials say that number continues to rise. The event was put together by Turning Point USA, a nonprofit for limited government. We reached out to a spokesman with St. Tammany Parish about today's rally and have not heard back. Jacob.
All right, I guess we'll have to see if that becomes a super spreader event with nobody messed up.
Well, I want to say that too about this super spreader event thing. Did y'all know that out in Chicago, they had Lollapalooza, and I couldn't believe this, but the health officials said when that happened, there was no evidence of it being a super spreader event. The commissioner of the Chicago Department of Health, Dr. Allison Arwade, said that there's no evidence that the estimated 385,000 person festival was a super spreader event or had a substantial impact of Chicago's COVID-19 epidemiology. Before I move on, I'm gonna move on in a second, but I just want y'all to look at the picture. Look at that. Now, I'm not saying that that event in Mandeville couldn't be a super spreader, but you're saying 385,000 people not likely to be? No evidence? Well, it hasn't happened as of yet. And this has been a big problem throughout this whole event, is a lack of transparency from government officials. That's who should be blamed for this. They, like Sean and I were talking about Thursday, they have not been 100% transparent with the American people, with their citizens. When they've asked questions, they've said one thing, and a few days later they've backtracked another. The baby, the baby missed out on Lollapalooza. It was probably a good thing. He might have caught the Whompa. But let's move on. Hit that like, share, and subscribe, please, guys. And also, if you can, contribute to the super chat. or if you could contribute to the Cash App, you guys see the links at the bottom so that we can continue having these types of discussions. We can continue this show, move forward in a positive direction. I greatly appreciate if you can do that. You're tuned in to the hottest podcast on YouTube Live, the hottest live stream Gavin Lee Sharp presents. It is Random Topic Sundays. And we go now, ladies and gentlemen. Our next topic we were going to be talking about, I'll get into it, is Bill Cosby, Judy Huth, 47 years ago. Now, of course, we know that Dr. Cosby's conviction was overturned back on June 30th, but now he is set to go back into court, civil court, mind you, in this case that allegedly happened in 1974. This is Judy Huth, who is represented by none other than Gloria Allred. And this is coming from the Daily Beast. Now, notice how this article is written. When I start, so this is written by Pilar Melendez, who's a national reporter. She starts off by saying, weeks after being freed from prison, an old lawsuit was revived, and his attorneys were claiming mob justice was coming for him. Now, look how Ms. Melendez starts this article off. There's a reason why the Daily Beast is looking for support. It's because nobody likes to support their garbage. Less than 2 months after Bill Cosby walked out of a prison, Pennsylvania prison, after his sexual assault conviction was shockingly overturned. Shockingly. What was shockingly about it? Let me ask Ms. Melendez. I'm going to do a little research on her right quick. She works with the National Reporter. I'm on her LinkedIn page. Let's see. I don't see anywhere where she's a lawyer. I looked at her Twitter page. She's a reporter at the Daily Beast. She was previously on MSNBC, CNN, Columbia Journal, New York University. Okay. So she is not a lawyer. So I don't know why she would say shockingly. Well, I have a feeling why. It's because it didn't go the way that she wanted, as well as to her viewers, because we know things are not based on fact. They're based on emotions. But she says this time they're fighting a civil lawsuit by a woman who accuses him of sexually assaulting her when she was a teenager, with the attorneys claiming, however, dubiously, that Cosby might face another criminal case. On Friday, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Craig Carlin tentatively set an April 2022 trial date for a civil suit against Cosby brought by Judy Huth, who alleges that Cosby sexually assaulted her at the Playboy Mansion in 1974 when she was 15 years old. While the lawsuit was originally filed in 2014 and previously saw Cosby deposed, the legal proceedings took a backseat after Cosby's criminal problems mounted in Pennsylvania, where he was convicted in 2018 of 3 felony counts of aggravated indecent assault. Carlin, however, pushed the case along on Friday, lifting the stay for all purposes related to where the litigation stands with respect to the statute of limitations. The judge, however, did not rule on whether Cosby will have to be deposed again for the case, which his defense team has already suggested they will try to block, with the disgraced comedian potentially invoking his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination in the civil lawsuit. You're one of the oldest cases, if not the oldest case on my calendar. It's time to lift the stay, Carlin said Friday, according to New York Daily News, adding that all discovery should start to get the wheels turning before both parties return to court on September 30th. Following the hearing, Hunt's defense attorney, Gloria Allred, who has represented other Cosby accusers, held a press conference providing an update about the status conference and stressing that her team is looking forward to continuing the battle for our very brave client. Cosby's team, in a statement released on Friday, stressed their plans to fully vindicate the actor against Hutt's accusations. The team also announced that Jennifer Bongine, who appeared before the Pennsylvania Supreme Court to successfully argue Cosby's conviction should be tossed, will be leading Cosby's defense. There's a lot of risk that what happened in Pennsylvania could happen again, Bongine told reporters outside the courthouse on Friday, when asked why Cosby still may invoke his Fifth Amendment right in the civil case. Cosby's defense team also said in the Friday statement that during the hearing, they flagged a number of important legal issues in the case, including whether California's abolition of statute of limitations as to certain crimes is constitutional. Now, let me say this. I'm going to read further. They say he legitimately fears that he would be the target of any new number of the other malicious prosecutions in this climate where mob justice trumps the rule of law and bald accusations, no matter how old or how implausible, are automatically viewed as truth, the statement added. So Cosby's defense lawyer, Michael Friedman, ahead of Friday's hearing, he was where his conviction was invoked in a filing submitted. He told the court that his client still had concerns that the LAPD may still be investigating Hutt's claims. Therefore, Freeman wrote in the filing Cosby claims to keep his mouth shut. He's invoking his Fifth Amendment, which is his right. Now, yes, I have said the same thing, Lucius. What is a 15-year-old doing at the Playboy Mansion? Now, here's my whole thing. And supposedly, there is a picture. I'm not going to finish reading the article. But she says that Huff claimed, the Cosby's team had previously claimed that Huff was not a minor on the date in question, and nor was the actor was there at the alleged incident at the time that she was saying. You got to be careful when they give dates and times, because you can verify, obviously, especially being that he's an actor and comedian, if he is in another part of the country or another part of the world. Comedians are nomads. We travel. But it says further here, what she alleges is that she was 15 at the time. Her friend, who was a 16-year-old, watched him on a film set. Cosby was 37 years old, the lawsuit adds. They are saying that he gave her copious amounts of alcohol and took her to what she believed. Now, this is what she believed was the Playboy Mansion. At the mansion, according to the lawsuit, Cosby led Huff to a bathroom where he attempted to kiss her and slide his hands down her pants. Cosby then grabbed her hand and forced her to perform a sex act on him, the lawsuit states. So nearly 40 years, 4 decades after the incident, Huff files a lawsuit against Cosby claiming sexual battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress. She was interviewed days later after filing that lawsuit by the LAPD Special Victims Unit with Allred, according to the New York Daily News. Now, this is dangerous, guys, because, well, Hugh Hefner is dead too, so Hugh can't verify it. Remember when you had this woman by the name of Chloe Goins? And Chloe Goins, who was 18 years, claims that she met Bill Cosby and he did stuff with her feet. And they settled this lawsuit with Chloe Goins, even though it was proven she lied. She said there was an assault at the Playboy Mansion. The LAPD investigated it because she gave a date. And when they looked at what they said as to what happened in 2008, they said that they were not going to pursue the case because it was proven that I was not, this is Cosby's statement, at the Playboy Mansion on the date in question and was not in the state of California. And AIG came to agreement with 7 of the women in the defamation lawsuit, including Tamara Green, Louisa Mertis, who died. Sonny Wells just died. I don't know if she was part of this lawsuit. Teresa Sarnice, Linda Traits, Barbara Bauman, Joan Tarshish, Angela Leslie. They got a settlement. They settled with Chloe Goins, and she was a proven liar. I'm reading this here. She was a proven liar. They said the woman's supposed friend confirmed that she made up the story by denying that they never knew her, and most importantly, denying that they had ever visited the Playboy Mansion. The LAPD and the LA District Attorney at that time said that they weren't going to press charges, and Cosby wasn't even at Hugh Hefner's house or even on the West Coast the night in question. They said it was insufficient evidence, but to prove the matter beyond a reasonable doubt. You see, that's what a prosecutor does. Yeah, I read the article about Sonny Wells, but that was Chloe Goins. Hold on. Let me see a picture of her. This lion wench. And she filed a lawsuit. Now, supposedly with this Judy Huff, there's a picture of Huff and Cosby that I've seen that's been shared from, I guess, back in the 70s. Now, that's supposed to be her, and that's Bill Cosby. Now, this is heavy.com. So that's not Judy Huff there. This is her lawsuit she filed. I can tell you this much too. You're talking about in 1974. Now, that year, let me say this, and this is important to remember. We're talking about statute of limitations being expired. You know, when you're talking about rape, child molestation, or anything like that, there's a reason why we have statute of limitations in this country. And you have those because we don't want the courts overcrowded with cases that are frivolous. So, as a lawyer, defense attorney, hell, even as a plaintiff's attorney, if this case came into your office, how could I prove all of the stuff that happened from 40 years ago when you have no eyewitnesses, no itinerary that shows that you were there or that the perpetrator was there? How did you get into a mansion that's for adults only? And most importantly, ma'am, why did you wait? I have to ask this. If this happened over 40 years ago, ma'am, did you ever go to the police? Did you tell your mom and dad about this? Can they verify any of this? Eyewitness testimony is not the best, most reliable test. You know why it's not reliable in cases? It's because especially over time, witnesses' testimonies will always change. What you remember changes as you get older. You know, that's just a part of it. That's a part of getting older. Some people have trouble remembering their birthdays. They're from loved one's birthday or anniversary and dates. Who did what? Those things happen. This is an actual copy of the lawsuit that was filed by Gloria Allred. Well, actually, Gloria Allred is not. Wait, whoa. Gloria Allred is not even on here. Mark Stecker signed this. Strecker. And yet Gloria Allred is on it? How'd that happen? And just look how this starts off. Plaintiff is informed and believes that based thereon allegations that defendant William H. Cosby Jr., a.k.a. Bill Cosby, is an individual who was residing in Los Angeles County, California during the time of the events and alleged in this complaint, and who is currently residing in Los Angeles County, California. He is not. He's in Pennsylvania. So this is the actual lawsuit. I put it in a link. She says she lied about her age. Well, here it is. Cosby had told her, then 15, and her friend who was 16, to lie about their ages if asked at the Playboy Mansion. The two girls told staff that they were 19. In return, Huff and her friend were served with multiple alcoholic drinks. So supposedly Cosby brings them in. And this is on heavy.com. It's not the most reliable. But half of these women, even Joan Tarshish, I believe, has been exposed. Drew Story News has done a whole video. He did a whole segment on these accusers. And they have all been proven to be either giving false statements or lying, or at least been inconsistent in their testimony at best. So for better or worse, they're either been inconsistent or they have been lying. They certainly have not. It has not been the whole truth. Now, I don't know how a 15, 16-year-old could get into the Playboy Mansion with Cosby, with Bill Cosby, and where was Hugh Hefner when all of this was going on? And we can't ask Hugh Hefner because he's dead. This seems like a whole big scam, guys. They're not going to stop until this man is bled dry. His money is bled dry. So he seems to have a great attorney, Jennifer Bongine. She seems like she did a great job. She's gone out there. She's making a name for herself. I'm interested in seeing what happens next with this. But the fact that this is a 50-year-old case, let's talk about the statute of limitations. Again, how are they able to get around this if the statute of limitations are already there? California abolished the statute of limitations, but are you saying you just made it when you abolished it only a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, you made it retroactive? That may be a constitutional issue, because it seems like when they change these laws, like they did with OJ, like they did with Michael, they change things, and they were changed for a reason, to go after a person. The Mann Act, which was passed in the early 1900s, 1910. That was the White Slave Traffic Act. They did that for purpose. They did that to go after Jack Johnson. It's a federal law that criminalizes the transportation of any woman or girl for the purpose of prostitution or debauchery, or for any other immoral purpose. That law is still in place. And they did that primarily to go after the then heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Johnson. That's Jack there. Yeah, they'll never go after Gloria Allred. Gloria Allred, it's offensive to even call her an ambulance chaser. She is, that would be an insult to ambulance chasers. She is the epitome of a, in my opinion, I have to be careful with my words, but she's a disgrace. She is a disgrace as an attorney. She didn't even file a suit, but she basically takes the name, puts her name on it, attaches to it, and go. I don't think there's a black man she hasn't gone after. Yeah, the look back law, or look back window. So Gloria Allred wants to hold, and notice she holds these press conferences. I don't think she ever goes to court. From my knowledge, from when I've talked to Judge Joe and Tom Mesereau, they don't really see her going to court that much. And a lot of people were praising this look back law to help victims of child abuse and assault, and that's fine, but there's a downside to it. You better come forward immediately, otherwise you're gonna find yourself screwed. That's just the way it is. There's a reason why we have that. How can I defend something like this? If I was a criminal defense lawyer, or even a civil defense lawyer, or even, like I said, a plaintiff's lawyer, how can I bring a case from 40 years ago with no proof? This is a classic example of he said, she said. And as far as her being underage, let me say this too. We know some bad girls that go out and do stuff that they're not supposed to do. It's like Judge Joe Brown said, what about these women being accountable? These groupies. We'll keep y'all posted on this. But I wanted to do this a couple of last things just as we wind down. Somebody shared with me, I guess this is on my Twitter, about Lizzo.
Is y'all doing this to black women over and over and over again, especially us big black girls. When we don't fit into the box that you want to put us in, you just unleash hatred onto us. It's not cool. I'm doing this shit for the big black women in the future who just want to live their lives without being scrutinized or put into boxes.
You want to live that long being big and black if you're eating Twinkies all the time. We don't promote help.
I'm not going to do what y'all want me to do ever. So get used to it. But what I will do is make great music and be a great artist and continue to uplift people and uplift myself.
My issue with Lizzo has nothing to do with her being big. I'm overweight myself. So when I hear people complaining, people defending her, oh, you're doing it because she's big. Oh, you doing it. No, it's because of how she acts and behaves. You can be all talented I guess she's complaining about because she just released a song with Cardi B called "Rumors," and some people have, I guess, offered some criticism, and she's defending herself, calling her essentially saying she's being fat shamed, and she's had this breakdown.
Is y'all doing this to black women over and over and over again,
No, we're
especially
not.
us big black girls?
It has nothing to do with you being big. It's the fact that, ma'am, Lizzo, with all due respect, sister, you have acted like a complete fool out here in public. You have a platform that I don't even have access to. I just moved off the Cosby subject, Otis, but I had already stated that earlier. We have to ask that. Apparently, they were trying to blame Bill Cosby for letting them in, from what I read in the article, telling them to lie if you're in the Playboy Mansion. But how did she get around Bill Cosby? How did she get to the film set that she's saying? She's going to have to explain all of that. This is the same Lizzo that came out at a Lakers game with her ass showing. She's all bared assed out in a thong. If she had farted, look at that. If she had farted, that whole thing would look like a big windsail. Now you have children that are in those. I got into a back and forth. I don't see how these people. We defend ratchetness. We're always defending the worst of ourselves. I'm not saying we can't be fun and have a good time. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that I haven't acted a fool from time to time. I have. There's a time and place for stuff like that. And she's going out where you have kids in the front row twerking with her ass all bared out on the seats. That whole front row smelled like chili dog. Yeah, women will dress slutty, act slutty, and they think it's cute. It's just like when they have the Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion WAP cover. Nicole shared this with me. Nicole showed this on Facebook, and this is what they had. Hold on, look at this. That's in public school. I don't know what school that was taken in. But these are who kids are looking up to. They look up to Lizzo because that's what they want black women to look like. They want black women to be big, fat, overweight, unhealthy. Again, when you say that you shouldn't fat shame, it's not about shaming. It's about promoting health. Like I learned stuff myself, about myself especially, about things and reasons. There are reasons why there are people who overeat and stuff like that, whether they suffer from depression, eat on compulsory, whether they're stressed out. There are things that happen. We don't address the health crisis in this country. We have a big problem in our nation with that. And Lizzo is not the only person. She's not the only black woman I knew that was overweight or that was entertained. I mean, look at Monique. Monique was all about, her whole comedy that I remember was about big bitches beating skinny bitches. That was what she would talk about. And I like Monique, but Monique, she changed her life around. She's lost weight because she realized this wasn't healthy. She wanted to see her children grow up and her grandchildren. Some of us suffering from obesity and diabetes, we have a problem in our community with that. And honestly, that is what's really contributing, from my opinion, with this COVID-19 thing. It's important we go work out. It's important that you eat healthy. I don't think Lizzo gets fat, but neither here nor there, not even talking about weight or eating healthy and obesity. The issue that with Lizzo that I think a lot of people had is the cooning aspect of it. Just acting a damn fool and doing some of the most when you're supposed to do the least. There plus I don't like sticks. I hear what you're saying, Ashley. Yeah, I don't like, even to be super thin is not healthy. That's not what I'm saying. They got thin people who have had heart attacks. Or strokes. Some of it is also based on your family history. That plays a role, but some things you can control. But I'm not even talking about that. But I just think it's really why people are critical of Lizzo a lot, especially in the Black community. It has to do with how she's behaved more than anything. And she's done some positive things with her money. I'm not gonna knock her. Like, she shot Good as Hell for her song. She shot that at Southern, had the marching band involved. She's multi-talented. Yeah, she can play the flute and so forth. I respect that. Well, Karen Carpenter had an eating disorder. She had an eating disorder, yeah. That contributed to what killed her. And she had anorexic nervosa, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that's what bothered people when they see that. And like I said, she's very talented. Adele was big. Look at Adele. Adele lost weight, and people criticized her for being big. But Adele, here's the thing about Adele. When she sings songs, she doesn't get up there acting a fool. Like, she just straight sings. So that's her transformation. That's how she was that big, medium big to healthy. So she did a whole transformation, and she could sing her ass off. But Adele doesn't get up there and twerks and has a thong, walks around in a thong, shaking her ass and stuff like that. Yeah. And I know Dr. Boyce Watkins, he's talked about it. I remember that, who's the one? Is it Jillian Michael? She was from The Biggest Loser, and she came out and attacked Lizzo and said some stuff about Lizzo. Yeah, I lost myself. I lost 20 pounds. Sometimes my weight has fluctuated based off what I've eaten. I haven't gotten on a good diet. And what hurts too is when you're overworked and you're stressed out. I don't have a chance to go work out sometimes like I'm doing it. That's not Amy Schumer. That's Adele. Amy Schumer. I think Adele is even funnier than Amy Schumer. I think she's dating. Yeah, she's dating LeBron's manager. You know, black men are gonna stop messing with Rick Paul, Alfonso. You can still be plus size and still take care of yourself. Yeah, you don't have to be thin. I guess what you have to do is just maintain a healthy weight and just eat properly. But again, it's more about, I think, her behavior than anything. Why black people react with Lizzo. So she was talking all that. I'll play the clip again for those because I just want to play the video and finish if you want to hear it. But yeah, again, when you were listening to it, you know, that's not why.
Except is y'all doing this to black women over and over and over again, especially us big black girls. When we don't fit into the box that you want to put us in, you just unleash hatred on us. It's not cool. I'm doing this shit for the big black women in the future who just want to live their lives without being scrutinized or put into boxes. I'm not going to do what y'all want me to do ever. So get used to it. But what I will do is make great music and be a great artist and continue to uplift people and uplift myself. Except,
look at the Lizzo's
is y'all
peaky
doing
facts.
this to black women over and over?
Lizzo's peaky facts. Fuck out of here. All right, next thing I want to talk about before I get out here. This happened. Jackass of the day. I don't want to say donkey of the day. But if Charlemagne and them did this, they would probably give this woman Jackass donkey of the day. Goes to Miss Julie Colley. Picture here. She got called out and caught for saying some racist remarks on a Facebook group. And we know that even though you have a private group, everything that you say necessarily does not stay private because there are screenshots, and apparently there are screenshots here. So she's out of Lafayette, Louisiana, my home state. She was on the Facebook group, What's Going On in Acadiana, and she made the following comment with regards to a back to school giveaway that was being held on Cameron Street. She said, "I'm not going at 6:30. This is 6:30 p.m. I take it." Collie wrote, "Cameron Street, that's Niggerville after dark." Others in the group were quick to call out Collie for her blatant racism on the social network. "This is absolutely disgusting. I hope she gets fired," one person said in response, as noted by Raw Story. She is a public servant. "I'm actually astounded at her blatant racism," added someone else. "I'm so thankful my child doesn't go to the school she works at, but I feel so sorry for the youth that have to be exposed to her." After catching wind of the backlash over Collie's racist remark, Lafayette Parish School System Public Information Officer Allison Dickerson announced that an investigation has been launched. So they said LPSS is aware of the situation, is conducting a thorough investigation into the matter. Dickerson said, "Because this is a personnel issue, no further information will be shared." NAACP Vice President Marja Broussard released a statement demanding diversity training for all teachers within the school district. See, this is where I get now. Here's my thing, and I get lost with the NAACP on this stuff. You say you're hurt and appalled, but not sad or surprised to learn someone entrusted to guide and nurture our children could make a statement like that. You want them to go and get training, diversity training. Just like when, I'll never forget, when I think it was Olamu Diablo was Was it him who got the plunger shoved up his rectum in New York? No, that was Lumia. That's the Lumia trial. Abner Lumia, who's still alive. I was getting mixed up with the brother that got shot 40, dude that got shot 40-something times. Now, he was from Haiti, and I remember in the aftermath, they were calling for these officers to undergo some type of sensitivity training, that all New York Police Department officers that were involved should go into sensitivity training of some sorts. And George Carlin, a famous comedian, he even joked about that and said, if you have to shove a plunger up a man's ass and then say that he needs training into doing so, then obviously I think sensitivity training is the last thing that's going to help you. No, it's not Sean Bell. It was Abner Lumia. Now, Abner Lumia actually came out last year and forgave those officers, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But that's Abner Lumia. But my point is that why is it we're always trying to get them to get sensitivity training? Sean Bell was murdered by the police, yeah, but that's a different story. I said the man that had a plunger shoved up his asshole. That was Abner Lumia. He was basically raped. But we want sensitivity training for these people. They don't need diversity training. They know what they're doing. Why did she go to a private platform and say this? They know that they're not going to face backlash for it. That's why they do it. So what's training going to do for them? The NAACP Louisiana State Conference, along with our district leaders and members, are calling on the Lafayette Parish School Board and Superintendent Irma Trosclair to institute racial and cultural diversity training for all staff immediately. She needs to be fired. That ain't gonna do shit. Demanding training. Demand for her release. Somebody, hold on, look at her picture. Look at her picture. Okay. She's clearly a little too old for training. They go on these private groups thinking that everything they say is safe and nobody will take a screenshot. No sensitivity training is going to fix that. No diversity training will fix that. Her ass got to go. This is why I don't rock with the NAACP like talking about it. I know that some people in the local chapters, I know the president and so forth of the local chapters and stuff here in Louisiana, and I might be cool with them personally, but honestly, I don't like the politics of the national NAACP and where it's going. No, she's that talcum powder LeBron throws up before the game. Remember his little ritual? That's her. She's the talcum powder. Just rub her face for good luck. Just rub her face. Boom! To sharpen your pool sticks too. But I'm sick of this, man. They know what they're saying. They know what they're doing. Had to be my home state, unfortunately. All right. Well, look, guys, we'll continue to monitor this and see what happens. But, yeah, she needs to go. She wrote that. If she wrote that, that's her. She needs to go. But anyway, guys, that's been it for me, man. We've been hot and heavy for over 2 hours. Please subscribe to the channel. Again, hit that notification bell. You see the Cash App at the bottom, Google Pay, PayPal, also the Super Chat. Now we have the Super Chat that's available. Shout out to everybody that's been here from Butterflies, Ashton Lewis, Rosalind, Derek Bailey. Shout out to you guys, Computer Robots. If you like to advertise on our channel, I have advertisement opportunities. You can email me at gavin.grich1@gmail.com. Also, go to the Patreon if you would like to go ahead and look at some premium content that may not be here on YouTube. But I'll be doing some stuff all this for the most part this week to upload to that. So be on the lookout. Also, please check out my seasoning company, NawniesCreoleBlends.com, our website, NawniesCreoleBlends.com. You want to order some seasoning, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawnies goes great with every dish. We also have to give a special shout out again to our 1,000 plus subscribers, and we're only keep growing. Eventually, I'm hoping we're going to get to 10,000 before the end of the year. I'm pushing for it. Yes, that's right. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing for that. So thank you to our subscribers. If you like, you can please donate again to the Cash App, also to Super Chat. And finally, guys, I'd also like to say, send a couple of special shout outs to Tanisha. If you're watching, dear, hello. Shout out to Nicole from Nicole's View. Shout out to Bishop Scott. Shout out to Judge Joe Brown. Get well soon. Also, a few other people. Drew Story News, Harvard Superboy, Ron Hurd, Sean James, all of you that have helped make this channel a success. I really appreciate you. So, guys, that is it for me. Of course, we can't just subscribe to the two channels. G-boot2786 if it's your first time here, or Gavin Richard if you're not subscribed. That's the backup channel. And also, I would like for you all to check out our latest single, Gotta Get On Up, as we always leave out on that note. So why not do it again? I know it's the third time, but hey, it's a charm. All right, guys, y'all be safe and be blessed. I'll holla. Peace.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. When the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop. I'll do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.